Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and welcome back to Cards in Hand. This is the podcast about the One Piece card game and all things One Piece related. But we are on episode 19, my man.
Let's go.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's funny that, like, every single time we record a new episode, I have to check what episode we're on because we've made so many episodes now that I'm like, oh my God, we have we have gone and done it, you know?
Luffy, it's crazy when I sit back and I reminisce. I'm like, we're going on 2 years now. I mean, not the podcast, but
Yeah,
like in terms of the TCG and like all this One Piece talk, like we're over 2 years now.
yeah.
And so like time moves fast, man. It feels like I was just playing set two a couple months ago, but yet here we are.
You're not wrong though. It's really crazy to think about, and like just having that second anniversary pre-release event for OP09, as well as the New Year event, which unfortunately here where I'm at, I didn't get to participate in yet because I didn't realize this, but they were only doing that event for like really like select group of stores. I believe it's only
Yeah.
like gold level stores for the Bandai
Mhm.
card game. So there was like maybe three, I think three or four in Virginia, and there was literally just one in my area, and they didn't get like all of the participation stuff in time for them to run the event, so it got postponed right now. But I mean, just it's crazy. Yeah, we just
Yeah.
celebrated 2 years of this card game, and today's episode is going to be going over a lot of the stuff that we haven't been able to chat about for a little bit because both Daniel and I have quite busy schedules, and we've both got a lot of stuff that we've been working on lately. But we wanted to chat about the nationals that happened for not only North America, but as well as Latin America, which is fantastic. We want to talk about the February Treasure Cups as well as other upcoming events, such as the Dallas One Piece Day event that's going to be happening in March. That's going to be really exciting. And we kind of want to end on a note about talking about some tournaments that I'll be hosting in the near future. So that's gonna be really cool. I'm super excited about it. Got a lot of stuff working in my Discord and whatnot. But dude, just to get into nationals, ending on last episode's talk, I
Yeah.
made probably the worst call of all time and said, dude, no way Shanks is going to do good. I was like, no shot that Shanks is going to do good. I was like, Dex,
Mhm.
so overrated. I
Yeah.
could not have been more wrong. It won Latin America. It also crushed like in the top 32 of North America. I mean, I am just eating my words right now. It's absolutely
Well, let's
unbelievable.
let's put in some proper context because while you're not
Yeah.
wrong, you're also not entire. Or you're not like there's a middle ground here, right? Because you had Dofi as kind of taking the spot of Shanks, and
Yeah.
that's not. You're also right because Dofi is still
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much winning and still very much a thing, right? Still, I think arguably people would still classify that as the best deck in format. So like I'm not gonna sit here and kick you while you're down. Like you had Dofi in there kind of taking that Shank spot, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
However, it was comical to me that same week. Dofi won, or excuse me, Shanks won.
Yeah.
And then the following week, my friend Drago, ATX, go check out his YouTube page. Really cool guy, local guy who is actually one of the people that made me feel welcomed within my local community. Really nice guy, but definitely someone to go and check out. He went into finals with Shanks at the LCQ,
Yeah.
and he lost. However, you know, getting into finals with Shanks.
Bro, guaranteed top 8 question mark? Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, crushed it. And you know what? Here's the thing, and someone brought this up. I want to say it's in my Discord. I can't remember who it is, but if you're listening, shout out to you. I come from like an FGC background, a fighting game community background. I used to play and compete in fighting games, and like that was kind of like my hobby before I got into One Piece and trading cards.
Right.
And someone called Shanks the Ryu of decks. And the context is that Ryu is like, while Ryu has a lot of different tools to address different situations, none of those tools are like exaggerating or they're like over the top or they're like, like broken, so to speak. But they're
Okay.
all like he is an honest character, but in the right hands of someone who understands the game, the mechanics, who can read their opponent really well, like all those things factored in to being for Ryu being like a competitive layer level character. That's kind of how I thought that was a great analogy. That's how I see Shanks. Shanks doesn't have any one card that like puts it over the top or is like,
Right.
like a broken card. It is like it just feels like a healthy, balanced deck, but given the person that is utilizing the deck, it can be very successful. Like if you know your matchups really well. Obviously we always talk about like what your draw is like. That's a big thing for Shanks
Yeah.
because you can draw and just lose pretty much right away with Shanks too.
Oh yeah, you
That's a
can
real thing.
brick.
Yeah, that's a very real thing. But I think people that have a really good knowledge of the game, mechanics, matchups, Shanks actually provides like a really good, stable, solid deck. And I think that came to light with some of these tournament showings.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think for me, when I was early testing against Shanks, I never really I never really thought the leader had a lot of legs in the beginning and mid game, and I thought that it was basically relying on the end. And it's if you can't make it to end, then you just lose, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I think to a degree that's not I'm not incorrect in saying that, but at the same
No.
time, like there's very good options that a lot of people had been trying different versions of the deck. Like there was a lot of removal based ideas with running some of the one cost building snakes and then teching
Mhm.
in like 5 cost Marco and the 7 cost Newgate that
Yep.
KO's a 5K.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that there was a lot of really interesting ways that people were going about that, and then
Hmm.
people started taking out certain cards like Uta and
Yep.
instead started replacing it with just generically solid mid game to late game choices. So they
Right.
didn't need that turn 2 play as much as they needed to have that turn 3 and onwards.
Right.
Um, and I found that very interesting, and I think that there's the one thing I really like about the Shanks deck after playing it a little bit and just watching a couple matches is that deck is so generic as far as the leader effect that it's so versatile. Like you
Yeah.
can really,
Absolutely.
yeah, you can build the deck in many ways because of its generic
Yes.
capability. Like and it's leaders like that that will shine for the rest of the game. So I don't think Shanks is going to be going anywhere anytime soon as far as the format's concerned. Um, yeah, it's very strong. It's got its weaknesses, but I do think at the end of the day, if you're able to, it's one of those decks that like if you see that perfect curve, it's a
Yeah.
really tough deck to beat. It's
It
a
is. Yeah.
very tough deck to beat.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point in terms of like the mid game. I think that's where Shanks, like if he can kind of survive the mid game and not get dinged up too much, like once the 10 up Shanks start coming down, like
Yeah,
that's where you kind of feel the game turn.
you're much
Because
safer. Yeah,
you much oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And in some ways it kind of feels almost like Blackbeard-ish. Like I'm not gonna draw the one-on-one comparison, but it still has that same vibe. Like if I can just get to my late game pieces and I can drop them when I'm healthy,
healthy. Yeah, healthy.
yeah, we're good. Like we're good to go. So like it kind of has that vibe to it. But you're right. I will say you also did bring up the point that once people get used to playing against Shanks,
Yeah,
its viability might drop a little bit. And I think that's true too. I think part of the Shanks success was kind of like this element of surprise, so to speak.
yeah,
So again, we're building Luffy up. He might have gotten a call a little bit wrong, but he was also right. So,
yeah.
but the Shanks, like you said, it's a generic ability that has tremendous application. And I also want to emphasize this: just because you're playing on card on curve does not mean you don't swing with your leader, gang. Like
Yeah,
swing
yeah,
with your leaders. Make them make a mistake. Like if you're
yeah,
swinging 5K and you're going to play a card that's on curve, who cares? Make them make the decision to screw something up.
a
Like
hundred
I,
percent.
I can't like I've seen people do that where they'll play their card and then they just pass without swinging. I'm like, why? Why
Yeah,
didn't you swing?
yeah. See,
Well,
it's
he's just
always
got a leader ability. Fine, let me
it's always
make
a
him do
skill
it.
check, like,
It is.
and at the end of the day, you think like, oh yeah, well these top players would never make that mistake. You would be surprised,
Yep.
and I promise you that I do the skill check every single time against
Hmm.
them, And
Hmm.
more often than not, I get to sneak one through, and I'm super happy about it because I'm like, wow, all right, that's actually one life that was really important for me to get, because
Yeah.
now I have you in a potential lethal situation
Yep.
the following turn. So
It's
it's
important.
yeah,
Like I've taken a different line because they've, either they've initiated leader ability on my leader swing. Like if I swing 5K with my leader and they say leader ability, well now I've got this one drop search and I'm, turn 2 with 4 on. Now I'm going to hit you with 6K and be like, all right, well then give me the 2K then, like
yeah,
so
yeah,
like some of this stuff is dependent on what line you want to take, but like you don't know until you try type thing. Like you always got to see like how are you going to respond? Like I think that's a concept that some um players, particularly new players, because I saw this too. It's like is like setting your opponent up to fail. And what I mean by that is like give your opponent as many opportunities to screw something up as possible.
yep,
Because that can come down to losing the game. And you may in your mind you may say, well, he wouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense. Like, duh. But like do it. And I can't tell you how many times I'd be like, what, you did what now? And then I'm like, oh, okay. You messed that up. Now I got a different. So like that would be my takeaway from this is like always give your opponent as many opportunities to screw something up as possible. And it doesn't mean, and like if that means just swinging a silly like 5K into him to see if he's going to leader ability or not, that's important.
yeah. I agree. And I mean, as far as Shanks is concerned, it didn't seem to do extremely well in the North American Nationals. I don't believe any. I don't believe any deck topped in the top 8 at least for it.
No.
But we did have one in the top 16.
Yep.
Quite a few in the top 32. So I believe it still had 4 representations though in North America, and then obviously, congratulations to Nestor Rivera for taking first place with Shanks in Latin America. Absolutely incredible. And yet again, he was kind of like a standalone though. Like there weren't too many other Shanks. There was only one in the top 16 being him.
Right.
But there was also, a few in like the top 32, top 64, stuff like that. But I still think it's a deck that, a lot of people need to keep an eye out on. But obviously, the most successful deck, without even a question, was Doflamingo. Doflamingo in Latin America was 6 out of the 16 tops. And in North America, 11 of the 32, taking up basically 33% of the
Right.
top 32 there, and a large portion, almost 50% of Latin America. So,
Crazy
yeah,
numbers.
pretty solid showing from Blue Doflamingo. But I want to just massive shout out to Cross AI for
Yes,
getting
sir.
the first place in North America, bringing the anti-Dofi deck. You love to see it, the BY
Yes, sir.
Luffy. So I was very happy to see that, and honestly very impressed that he was able to make it all the way to the finals and win it, because I do think that there are just some really bad decks that he had to come across and really, get one over on. So I know for
Right.
sure he had some Purple Luffy matchups. That's not a great matchup for BY at all.
Right.
I'm pretty sure there was a Bonnie or two sprinkled in there. So, I'm not entirely sure what his matchups were exactly, whether he had to go through the Bonnie matchup or not, or maybe he dodged that. But and Teach, which I will say, I don't know if you heard about the controversy. There, yo, that I
Oh,
think it
you
was
meant
like
the
I think it was top 16 match was
yeah.
it was Cross versus Teach, and like that's almost like a slam dunk for Teach in a way.
Mhm.
But Teach was making some pretty rough errors. And like I don't even play Teach that much, but like I was noticing it in real time, like, wait,
Yeah.
why'd he do that? Like why?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, this is just unfortunate, bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's just kind of how I want to classify that because I saw a lot of people kind of taking it a little too far on social media, like just calling the player like not intelligent or like
Yeah.
like just taking it to a place where it doesn't need to go. I think probably the nerves of playing someone
Oh,
of cross,
bro.
like
Bro.
and a lot on the line. So there's a lot of factors involved.
Yeah.
But I like I think it's just unfortunate. But again, that kind of reiterates the point that I was making is like, do things, behave in a way that you're just gonna try and force your opponent to make mistakes, and
Yeah.
you never know what the outcome what it'll be. And actually, that's a great this matchup. But that match was a great example of that.
Yeah, and 100%. I just want to reiterate that. By the way, even though I did notice some of the mistakes that he was making, I was like, yeah, why would you do that? Seems like a weird choice, right? I fully will admit that if I was in his shoes, I probably would have done worse. Okay, so I swear to you, if you're in a top 16 national situation, right, and you are sitting there like, oh my God, I am one game away from getting probably the holy grail of uncut sheets and a potential chance at making the top 4 and getting like a potential invite to the world championship in Japan. I mean, I would be losing my mind, like what do I do in this situation? This is crazy. So,
Well, and the cherry on top is you're playing against someone who's very well known and respected
exactly.
and credentialed within the community. So like on top of it all, like,
Yeah.
you've got all that, which is a tremendous amount of pressure. And then you're playing against Cross, who undoubtedly is probably one of the more decorated NA players.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's talk about like a
Pressure.
tough decision. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I would have done any better myself, but you live and you learn. You take that moment and you grow from it. You take that experience and you kind of say, all right, well, I did well. There was a lot to learn, a lot to build on, and you move on.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that's still extremely successful campaign on that person's behalf. So,
Better than I've ever done. So,
we'll get you there. You're getting there. You're climbing.
eventually, yeah. Eventually.
The
But
build up is occurring.
it was cool. It was cool that there were a few Blackbeards as well, kind of sprinkled in there, because I definitely like, as much as I maybe probably made the bad call of Shanks in the previous episode, I definitely didn't. I was like, dude, how is Teach ever gonna make it into the top 32 of these national events with so many Doflamingo players, Purple Luffy players?
Right.
Like, all of these matchups are just tragic, right? Even
Right.
Shanks isn't even that great of a matchup. It's
Like 50-50.
yeah, it's like 50-50, but still, like, that's not an odds that I would want to have for.
You're just hoping you draw better.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I don't know. I was pretty impressed. There was a bunch. I think Awakened TCG, if I'm not mistaken, made top 64 of Latin America.
Yes.
Maybe top 32. I'm not entirely
No,
sure.
he was up there. He was way up there. He might have been top 8 even. Like, I think. Yeah. No.
I don't
think he did really well
see.
for him.
I don't see him in the top 8, but
Because I think he went X1, so maybe I don't know what his
right. It looks as though it was just top 64. But but I mean, I played him in a case tournament the other day.
Yeah.
And he definitely showcased how much he knows that deck, Blackbeard, extremely well. So, really, really well thought out, and just a great job by him as a whole. And I mean, I was kind of surprised to see a few of those make it in, more than I expected. But I think that Blackbeard it's poised and set up really well for OP10. So with a couple of new additions that are coming, man, that deck looks crazy in OP10.
one card. I mean, you're right. There's a couple new
Arguably
additions.
2 cards, but yeah, the 1 card Kuzan specifically, but 2. There's another 6-cost event. Yeah.
Yeah, the 6 card. Yeah, that's fine. It's strong. It's good. It's a good card. Yeah. But the Kuzan.
Kuzan's stupid, dude. Like,
what are we doing?
I don't know. I have
What are we doing?
zero clue what they're doing. Like, the idea of making a card that, yet again, this is like a complaint that I've had so much in the past, a card that it's essentially the answer to the color itself is always bad. It's never a good idea. I don't enjoy that fact, like, by any means. But then to make it be able to draw a card, replace itself, and play a card?
So,
like, what were we thinking?
Exactly. But what was funny to me is, like, so someone was kind of bringing me up to date with that Kuzan, right? And they're like, so it's a 5-drop. I'm like, cool. Like, they're like, yeah, it can't be removed. And for me, when I hear removed, I don't know why, but I default as KO, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, no biggie. I play Smoker. I got Tashigi. That's not a big deal. They're like, no. that's not going to work. That card cannot be removed from the board. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why would you make a card that is completely not interactive? Like I
Yeah.
can't, it's not interactive at all. I
Yeah.
can't do anything to this card, right? Like, well, that's kind of silly, but you know, like a Blackbeard, like you said, there's an answer for it. So maybe that's why. Well, now you can play something from the trash when you remove it. Well, that fits with Black's theme. So like I guess I get that.
But a 4
I don't
cost.
but I don't the funny the literally the part that had me laughing out loud, and I swear it was like for 5 minutes, was the draw card.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like, why?
You've made the most ridiculous card in the game that is that you can't interact with in any way, like you just can't do anything about.
Yeah.
It brings a card from the graveyard, but then you tell them, oh yeah, draw a card off the top of your deck and you know fill your hand out a little bit more. I was like, this is ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
insane to me. But you know, like from everything, yeah, Blackbeard is still strong, but from everything I've seen in the East, like it hasn't broken the deck, sort of like, so like how concerned are we really?
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I just I don't think it's gonna make like Blackbeard like best deck ever. You know, the most
Right.
broken deck. I just don't enjoy that like cards like that. That you know, and you know, dude, for anybody that's watching, you know, we love Black, right? Right.
Yeah, that's our thing.
Daniel and I literally play Black. Like that's what we do, right?
Yep.
Play Gecko. I even played Lucci as much as I didn't really like it that much. You know,
I
played Smoker, still occasionally dabble into Smoker and whatnot. But like,
still-
come on, bro. Like that's just
It's yeah.
so silly.
Having a card that you can't interact with on the board seems like, I don't know, like I can see that only being an attribute for Black, but I don't want that to be a recurring theme.
I really hope not.
That's not fun. Like I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
But having a card that sits on board that you literally just stare at and can't do anything, like I don't like that. That's just a personal preference. I would be curious though, like leave a comment, because I really want to hear y'all's thoughts on it. But having a card that just sits there that I can't interact with is like, it just doesn't make much sense to me from a game development standpoint.
No, agreed. But like, so you could swing into it, right?
Yeah. You can swing into it.
But guess what? I'm never gonna let you, because I'm gonna swing with it and then draw a card and play a 4 cost.
Yeah,
Like
for
what?
sure.
It's
Yeah,
so
no.
silly.
No, it's yeah. And like Luffy said,
Yeah.
we are Black players through and through. I will always advocate for Black decks and leaders because it's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
But this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I don't.
stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah. I will say this though, that alternate art looks insane.
Oh yeah.
That looks so good. And as someone who is not, I'm like halfway through the anime.
Right.
And when I saw the typing of Blackbeard Pirates, I was like, wait a minute, why does Kuzan have a Blackbeard? So like, yeah, little spoiler, little spoiler there,
brother.
Because as of now, Kuzan is like top 5 character for me. I love Kuzan. I don't really like too many villains in the anime.
Still like him though, even with what happens. Like once you find out like the full flesh of the story and you understand why Kuzan is where he is, you'll be like, bro, like this is crazy.
Well, part of his appeal is that he seems to have a level of depth to him that not other Navy characters have.
Yep.
So like that really drew me in. Is like, I don't really like too many villains right now in the anime. Kuzan being one of them. I don't know if I'd call Smoker a villain right now.
Yeah, he's more of like just like an antagonist, if anything.
Right. Yeah, and I've already heard him. He already cursed out the Navy like in the Alabasta thing. So I was always like, all right, yeah, okay, you got some good vibes, Smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. You know, from an anime standpoint, I'm like, what direction are they going with this? What is going on here?
Have you haven't got to the point where you've met Isho yet, have you?
I have not. So I am finishing up. I'll be at, like, full transparency, I'm in towards the end of Fishman Island. Fishman Island has been such a grind for me.
It is rough.
Like, bro, I love the messaging. I love the messaging behind Fishman Island. Like, I think it's important, and like I love the approach, and you know, like Oda did a good job with the direction of like, you know, the story behind it all. And I like that. I can't stand any of the characters in Fishman Island. Jinbei's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone else just sucks, dude. Everyone else sucks. And I don't, so like every time I'm like, oh, I could watch One Piece. I'm like, but you're in Fishman Island. So like, I'm just having like I need to get to a point where I just rip the band-aid off and I just spend a day and I just like
Knock it
get
out.
past.
Yeah, because like there's just important stuff with like the lore of kind of like why Fishman Island is there,
Yeah.
what the Noah's Ark even like
Yeah.
stands for and stuff like that, and just kind of like the idea of Shirahoshi, right? Like
Hmm.
Shirahoshi is very relevant to the future of
Symbolic
this.
in a lot of ways.
She's
Yeah.
very important to the future of the story,
Okay.
and why what she can do and everything. So I just finish it up. Once you get through that, then you get into like a pretty interesting arc. It's very long, but it's really dope. Like the whole backstory and everything. It's what starts essentially the end game of One Piece. Like I think
Gotcha.
that the next arc, I believe, is Punk Hazard that you
It
go
is.
to.
Yeah. From everything
Yeah.
I've been told, it's Punk Hazard.
Punk
So
Hazard is like the start of the end, if you will,
okay.
and it's
Okay.
but it's a long story.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
I've heard Wano is like 300 episodes or something
it's
like.
like 200 something, but like it's a
Yeah.
very very like I don't think it's that bad if you are just able to binge it. But
Yeah.
personally, like since I had to watch it weekly, I was like, oh my god, this is dragging, bro. Like how are we
Yeah.
still here?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they really went in depth, so it makes sense.
Yeah, no, like my criticisms are very like topical, like it's not a big deal. I'll grind through it. But to the point you were making, I'm actually excited for Punk Hazard because
Yeah.
of an OP10 leader, Smoker.
Oh yeah,
But
smoke.
yet
Yeah, yeah.
Smoker
But Smoker
is not
is
Smoker.
yeah.
So when I saw that leader review, I was like, interesting. They're like, yeah, that's a Punk Hazard thing. So I'm like, all right, let me see how this all. I know laws and like I know like the little details of it. I don't know how it all comes together,
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm ready for more Smoker and Tashigi action.
Oh
So
dude, it's
apparently,
gonna be good.
yeah, I'm excited for that because I actually do want to play Smoker in OP10 as well. So which is actually a deck that is seeing some success
Yeah.
too. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
I'm excited for that.
pretty cool. We're gonna probably dive deeper into OP10 in a future
Yeah.
episode, just because we're still quite a ways away from that. But as far as just a storyline, really cool addition that they added, it's awesome. And so I think
Yeah.
you'll really enjoy that once you get there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like the Nationals experience was awesome. Just going out there, I had a really great time. I think personally for me, the event ran smoothly. The side events were good. I know I heard a little bit of gripe about the LCQ and how that worked out. I did hear some horror stories about that, so little rough. But the event space was massive, like
Mhm.
actually massive. It was pretty
Mhm.
crazy. They had multiple like areas of the convention center that kind of collided in with one another. Like they had a sectioned off area for players, sectioned off area for merchandise and like other tables and whatnot, and like
Some beautiful
testing.
displays too,
Yeah,
man.
beautiful displays. I mean, it was incredible. I thought they always do it really well. I think the only gripe is that I made like a small video about this, was that I think that I hope that Bandai Card Fest makes adjustments in the future. I don't know if they will, at least here in North America. I don't see it as that's the tough part, is like Latin America's event looked amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, they get a full broadcast of day 1 and day 2. Dude, we had like 2 to 3 games of One Piece that were broadcast, and like the rest of the stream was like, oh, a Digimon game here or there, a Battle Spirits Saga game here or there, like I
It's
don't even remember what the other game was, and I'm just like, dude,
Union Arena probably
yeah,
or
maybe
something
Union
like
Arena, I don't
that.
remember, but like somebody needs to realize, right? Like you have, yes, different markets, but there is such a minuscule group of people that attend Bandai Card Fest that play all of these games and want to watch all of these games and
Right.
care about all of these games, right? So what they need to do is just have dedicated streams. You got to have one stream for Digimon, one stream for Union Arena, one stream for One Piece.
It's the most head scratching thing, Ian.
Yeah.
Or I don't like it blows my mind. It truly does. Like you would think that there is a strong campaign to market this TCG that goes along with the success of it. But like, I'm like, where's the marketing going? You know,
Yeah.
what are we doing here to generate more excitement and develop a bigger community and have a larger audience? Like,
And
there just doesn't feel like there's that push from a North America standpoint, because you're right. Like, there's other regions that do it. They seem to understand that concept, but why not here? I don't know. It's a real head scratcher for me.
it's funny that you bring that up, like as far as marketing and everything, right? They did a great job of having the casters and whatnot, like, and the creator of the game for the English side, right? Come on and showcase a bunch of new stuff, like
Yeah,
new cards that are going to come
yeah.
out, promos, all kinds of product and stuff. And I was like, what? This is really cool. But I only got to catch a sliver of that because I was like, oh, I'm not watching the stream anymore because Digimon is on, right?
Right.
And so, like, I don't know when I should be tuning back in. Dude, I would have watched the whole thing
Dude, it
if
would
it
be like
was
March
all One
Madness.
Piece,
It'd
you
be
know?
like March Madness. I would literally just kick my feet up in the recliner. I'd crack a beer, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Sweetie, for the next 5, 6, 7 hours, I'm literally just gonna hang out. I'm gonna have my beer. I'm gonna watch these like." And I actually, you know what? When you, I did catch that video that you put out. Really good video. Go check out Ian's video on this, because he did a great job in sharing this with everyone else, like his thoughts on it. And but I did notice that we're gonna kind of like come back to the fighting game community with Evo, and someone I think brought up this event that takes place in the fighting game community that I think Bandai would stand to benefit if they kind of modeled some of what they do after Evo. Because like you said, every game has its respective commentators, their respective streams.
Yeah.
I get that, maybe that's a little bit more of a financial commitment than what Bandai is willing to make, but I don't know. I'm speculating here, but like, there are very clear cut, like, successful events that, like, I like, just let's literally, you could like copy paste these formats and these events and just kind of make it into, and just slap One Piece on it, and we'd be good to go. But my point being is, like, every fighting game competitor knows on Evo weekend they're locked in. Like, I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna watch these matches.
Yeah.
Like, there's good entertainment value, and it's truly like an event, like a huge broadcasted event.
Yeah. And I mean,
This, like,
I'm saying you're absolutely right. Like, there's a way that they can do that, and it's really what it boils down to is dedicated streams, dedicated casters, right? Because like that was another thing is, and I'm not trying to take shots at any of the casters. I think that
no.
they did a fine job, but there was a few instances of, like, you could tell they didn't exactly know everything that they should know for
Right.
like a professional, like, setting like that with the best players in a region playing, and it was slightly frustrating, but I was like trying to understand, and then it really occurred to me, oh, these guys have to know the rules and cards for 7 different card games. Like, that's
not fair to them.
absurd,
That's not fair to them.
it's absurd. Like,
Yeah.
so, if you want to try and memorize everything and then just know every single card and every meta and, like, be, one of the better players to be doing the casting for that, it's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to be the best, well, not the best, but, like, I guess the best choice for every single game out of all of them. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, I understand. I bet you there was, a few of those casters that would have been phenomenal for, like, Dragon Ball, phenomenal for Digimon, phenomenal for Union Arena, Battle Spirit, stuff like that, right? But it just felt like it, because One Piece is the only real Bandai game that I even have interest in. So when I was watching the One Piece thing, I could tell, I was like, what is he going on about right now? Like, and I think that was a bit of a shame, because I think it lost it on people. Like, the whole chat just was like kind of losing, like, kind of a connection to what was going on, because they felt like, is this, why are we having a conversation about something so irrelevant, or this, that, and the other,
Right.
And I like I said, I'm not trying to take any shots. I just think that it's on Bandai to do a better job at making sure that their resources are allocated correctly. And the reason why I kind of laughed about the whole, like, budget money thing, right, is like, dude, you got to think about this venue alone probably cost them like $80,000 for like 2 to 3 days, right?
Yeah.
I promise you they could find a cheaper venue if they really wanted to, right? And everybody would be fine with it as
Right.
long as like the event, there was enough judges for all the side events, main events, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as we had the dedicated casters, dedicated stream and everything. Dude, and like the money you can make just from the marketing alone on a dedicated stream is absurd. Like they could be marketing premium Bandai purchases and pre-orders and stuff like that. Like I don't know how I'm not like the guy helping them with this. Like I swear to God, I would be making them rich, bro.
And so that's what is really like the head scratcher and all this. Like this
Yeah.
stuff is pretty easy to identify from you and I's chairs, from our standpoint, and you have to assume.
There's always
So like
we're
that's
outside
where
looking in.
Right. That's where the real head scratcher also kind of comes into. It's like I know y'all have to see some of this.
Yeah.
And I think also something if I'm not mistaken, we kind of hit on this a little bit last time for last nationals, and I think what's kind of being missed in all this is like when you see people on streams and you get a visual of them and you see their names, like you start to identify these people as content creators, people like yourself, people like Cross, Awakened,
Yeah.
Clyde and Jonas have their thing going on. Like these are people that literally drive traffic to your card game. And so like when I can see them on stream and I can get visuals and I can watch them play, it just draws me that much more into the game and the TCG, because now I can go to the YouTube channel, I can learn more there. Like just giving them access to people that, they may not have seen before, but now I'm seeing them in a top 8. And those content creators, all they're doing is they're literally like the disciples of One Piece, right? They're just going around spreading the word of One Piece and like attracting new followers, right? And so like I'm like, you're not only like hurting yourselves from like a very like obvious level in terms of like viewership and accessibility, but like it trickles down to like your content creators not getting on stream, not getting, your top players aren't nearly as recognizable. There's a reason why like the NBA, when they don't have to wear helmets, why NBA players tend to be like as popular as they are. It's because you can see them all the time. Whereas NFL, you've got, it's not like, so like there's all this data and analytics to prove that when you can see the people that are competing, it makes you gravitate more towards their presence and towards the content that they create with One Piece. And I think that's just kind of getting lost in all this, is like, let's elevate not just the audience, but also the people that are working in or the players in the tournament. And it's just kind of like a rising tide lifts all ships, like everyone benefits from this. And so again, like I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like, let's just hope this changes, man, because this is such a missed opportunity on so many fronts that it's like, I feel like it needs to change.
I actually think this this is the smallest but most simple thing that they could do to make this a like a resolved issue, right? Is if they want to continue having Bandai Card Fest be for all games Bandai and stream only one stream with dedicated casters, not dedicated, but just one group of casters that all do all the games, right? If you want to do that, that's fine. Just don't host the One Piece national tournament in the same thing. You should do it separate, because if they're not going to do it separate, then it's just going to continuously just kind of get washed away as an event that happened that no one got to watch, right? And like you have this idea of spectator badges and everything like that. What do you get to spectate? You don't get to spectate anything, And I think that's a bummer, in my opinion.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, like, if you want that to be the experience, where people can actually watch over matches, they can see different gameplay, they can really spectate it if they weren't able to make it into the game, then have this as a separate event, and then you can have like a dedicated viewing area for the live game that's happening at the moment, that's also being live streamed to an audience on Twitch, YouTube, whatever. And so there's just like, there's so many missed opportunities there, and it seemed as though Latin America really capitalized on that and essentially did what I just said. They had a completely just One Piece event.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because maybe something more along the lines of like, I know this kind of takes away from it, but like if you had One Piece Day that kind of incorporated, like One Piece Day feels like it would be a proper event for like for Card Fest, right?
Yeah.
Where like you could still have like a tournament and
exactly,
still like
a
make
regional or something,
and like make it a little bit more encompassing of One Piece collectively. And to your point, draw in a larger audience, cast a bigger net of not just TCG people, but also One Piece fans in general that say, "Oh shit, there's a card game too.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Let me see what this is about. Let me sit down and watch a card game." Like so that maybe feels like a little bit more of an appropriate thing, but like you bring up a good point. Like having nationals associated with that seems a little detracting from the nationals event,
Yeah,
right?
it's the
And
biggest
yeah,
event of the North
yeah,
American region, and we get
right.
like super sidelined more or less. And like when I say super sidelined, I mean we take up the most chairs, the seats, the most event space and everything. So I'm not saying it's like, oh, it really feels like it's mostly One Piece. I'm not gonna lie,
It is.
but
It is. I
at
mean,
the same
let's keep
time,
it
like
above.
I mean, we're talking about like this could be the biggest broadcast every
Mhm.
year, right?
Yep.
The biggest broadcast that everybody would be tuning into, and they'd be like, oh my god, I want to watch this. But instead, we're like, yeah, nah, like I don't really want to watch this because like I have to like flip through, in between rounds it's like an advertisement for a new Digimon set. I'm like, dude, I don't care
Right.
about that. Like we need it to be one piece. If Digimon had their own thing, that would be great too, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do this multiple ways, but obviously like when your most popular game is One Piece, like
Yeah.
you have to do what makes it absolutely successful and thrive. So
Yeah.
missed opportunity. But you brought up something that we were going to get into right afterwards, which is kind of great, was One Piece Day.
Yeah.
That's the next. Well, actually, that's not technically the next event. The next event are going to be the online treasure cups in February.
February.
And I
Yeah.
think there is maybe one or two offline treasure cups.
Yeah. I want to say
Um,
there's two, if I'm not mistaken.
all right, so these are online. Maybe there isn't. Maybe they all are online. Actually, yeah. It looks no. There are two in Latin America. So
Okay.
so for North America, it's all online. But
Got
Latin America has one in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and
Sao
then
Paulo,
in Mexico City, Mexico. So
Mexico.
yeah, Song, if I'm pronouncing that correct, they did the national event. They were phenomenal, dude. I wish I
Yeah.
was there. Just watching that from home, I was blown away. I was like, man, they crushed it. Like,
Yeah.
next time that Mexico City does something, I'm probably going out to one of those big events because I thought that was incredibly done. So
I'm not gonna lie, Mexico City has always been on my like not hit list. What do I want to call on my radar?
oh
Like
my
it's always
god,
been like, bro, I'm gonna go there and I'm just gonna crush it. First place, it's on my hit list. I'll scratch them off and be like,
good
done,
lord.
mission accomplished. No, it was like a bucket list, I guess.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a One Piece bucket list kind of thing for me because I love going to Mexico in general. It's always just a fun play. I mean, I'm in Texas, so it's like just a quick little
Yeah, hopscotch in a boot,
getaway. Yeah, I mean, tacos and tequila, man. Like
we can't get better,
you can't miss, can't miss. So that has been like a One Piece bucket list for me is Mexico City, preferably. So let's make that happen, Luffy.
Yeah,
Let's
dude.
do it. Bro.
I'm super down. And my wife is like, she wants to go back to Mexico ASAP. She went to, uh, man, I'm actually gonna forget where it was, but she went.
Cancun,
No,
Cozumel,
I don't think it was
Playa del
Cancun.
Carmen.
It might have been Playa del Carmen actually. I think
Okay.
she might have went to Playa del Carmen. It was for a friend of hers, I believe her 30th birthday. So, like one of her bridesmaids, it was her 30th birthday. So they went out there and she was like, babe, I want to go back. Anytime you go to Mexico, she was like, let me know. I'm trying to go again. I was like, Mexico's incredible. I've been twice. Every time
Yeah.
I've been has just been incredible. So but I've never been to Mexico City. So I think,
Neither have I. I haven't been to Mexico
yeah,
City.
I think that would be a really fun trip. And I've also, I love that I get so many compliments. Shout out to my Hispanic community in the live streams. I get a lot of compliments of people telling me that, wow, your Spanish is actually way better than I expected. And I was like, thank you. I'm not going to take that as an insult. I appreciate that.
You're I won't go into your profession, but your profession certainly helps that for sure.
Yeah, it
I would
does.
imagine.
It does.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care about bringing it up. I work in the restaurant industry outside of
Okay.
One Piece stuff, so like, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, there's a lot of Hispanic community in the
Yep.
in the restaurant industry. So like,
Yeah.
I've been able to practice a bunch, but where I work now, there's actually only one Spanish speaking server, a girl that works with me that's Puerto Rican. But
Yeah.
she doesn't really. She basically just talks in English with
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
because she speaks fluently in both languages.
See,
But I don't really
down
get
here
any
in
practice.
Texas,
Yeah.
you can go to a Chinese restaurant and you'll hear them in the kitchen like, "Hey, vámonos, vámonos."
Yeah.
Like and then every one of our and like I come from service industry background as well, so like, and my mom's Mexican too, so like they're like it's all part of the culture for me. I love it, and I would love to get down there and
Yeah.
throw some One Piece cards around.
Dude, that's the plan. So that's
Yeah.
definitely something I'm looking forward to. But the online treasure cups are something I'm super looking forward to because
Okay.
I am one, I've been practicing my deck like in and out and I'm feeling really good about it. But two, the prizing, man. The prizing looks really good, looks super solid. Treasure cups are never as good as regionals. Like
No.
regional prizing is always better. But for me, like I'm stoked because the top 64 card is the 5-cost Songaro, the 5-cost 6K swing when you have 8 Dawn
Draw.
on the field draw card.
Mhm.
Brother, I'm getting 4 of them. I'm in 3 of the 4 online
I don't know
events,
how to
and
take this.
I'm gonna get top 64 in all 3 of those,
Okay.
and then I'm
I
gonna get another one from somebody else. I'm gonna get 4 of those.
okay. See, I don't know how to feel
Yeah.
about this because I remember you won a Perona and
Yeah, top 16.
you let the Perona go, didn't you?
Oh, bro, that was way too much money. Like this,
Okay, all right,
yeah,
all right, all
that was
right. 'Cause I
way
was
too
like,
much
man,
money.
you won a prize card that was a black card and you let it go, but yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
gonna go hunting for the purple.
Yes,
Purple. How
yeah.
dare you, sir?
Well,
How
so
dare
like
you?
top 64 cards, like don't get me wrong, like $300, that's not
Yeah.
cheap by any means.
For a lot of
But
people, it'll help cover the expense of the tournament,
oh,
right? Like if you
100%.
travel, like so, yeah.
Yeah. But like it's not cheap by any means, but it's much more affordable than 1,000 and up,
Yeah,
So
That's fair.
so like
That's fair.
if I can get the card that I would want out of all 3 prize cards is the easiest to get, I'm stoked. I
Hey,
am
fair
so stoked.
And you've been
Yeah.
having the results as of recent, so like I can see that's a very attainable goal for you.
Yeah, top 32 last with Purple Luffy. I'm hoping and I'm super mad about it too. Like I should have been 9-1. I should have got top 8. But it is what it is. It's not like my opponents did anything. I lost a game. Like one of the games I lost because there was no chance I was ever going to win. My opponent just god drew and I just drew like
Yeah.
crap. And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
all right. You beat me. You got Doflamingo."
It'd be like that.
Yeah, but the other game, like I had an out. It was just the most random thing, and I thought about it. I was like, "Do I do that?" And I was like, "Nah, it seems risky." But then, like the way that he wasn't countering any of the attacks, I was like, "Dude, there's no way this gets through." And like I swing, and he just counters, and I'm like, "Yeah, you got it." I was like, I should have just went for the potential out, and I would have won if I did. So I was very sad about that. But yeah, the Jack. 7-cost Jack from like Lucci staple, Smoker staple. That's gonna be what's that from? Opio 8? Yeah, Opio 8.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a prize card for top 16. That's gonna be really cool. And then the cutest artwork, man. This Uta card. So the 1-cost Uta searcher for red-haired pirates. It's got like Luffy, like Uta, and Uta's just sitting there on like a little like chopped off tree stump and it's so cute. I was like, oh man, that's such a cool card. The big prize though, obviously, getting second place or first place, OPO9 uncut sheet.
Sheesh.
Dude, that sheet's gonna be a big one for people.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The Gold Roger just
I don't know if it'll have the Gold Roger. They haven't shown it yet. They haven't shown what the sheet's gonna have yet. So I don't know if it's going to have the Gold Roger. If it does, though, that would be insane.
I mean, I feel like you have to, right? Because that's the
Yeah.
centerpiece. That's the centerpiece.
It's the tough part is that the Nationals, right, their uncut sheet had all of the mangas from OPO9, but it didn't have Gold Roger. So that makes me feel as though maybe the OPO9 sheet has the Gold Roger, but none of the other mangas. So I don't know. That was like kind of where my thought process went. But there also could be the World Championship, right? Might have the Gold Roger play sheet or something
That
like
would
that.
make sense. Yeah, that would make
So
sense.
it could go
Yeah.
it could go multiple ways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was very interesting, and those February events lead us into the beautiful One Piece Day event, which, man, I am so stoked for. I've got my trip planned out and everything already. I'm gonna be staying with my man Vampire Gaming. We're gonna be having a sorry, bro, I had to ditch
I
you
was
this
gonna
time.
say, damn, can I like the homies linking up behind my
Look,
back like, for a little
look.
sneaky sesh?
So,
Dude, what's going on here?
so
What's going on?
So here's the deal. Vampire and I have wanted to, like room for an event for a long time, but we never have, right? You and I have. I've roomed with Fee. I've roomed with like a couple
Wait,
other
no, he
friends
came
from
up there
local.
and snuggled up with you for a tournament.
Oh, you know what? Okay, all right, fair, I guess.
Hey,
He
Ian.
stayed at my place for an offline event
Yeah.
here, but I didn't get to participate at all in that event, and I was basically like we were not even seeing one another throughout that entire day because I was casting and he was playing, and so like when we got to see one another was like super random and lucky.
You
But yeah,
two-timing SOB.
I am two-timing you, dude. But Vampire and I got a spot, so we're gonna be staying out there. But I mean, like this event, I got lucky and I got into both days. So I got into I got Pod B, I think, in day 1 and Pod B in day 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the promo cards alone are sick. There's this 10 cost Luffy from starter deck 10. Yeah. I love this card, by the way. Eventually this card's gonna be the GOAT. And when it is, that card is going to be like all of them are just going to shoot up in price, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, no,
so
that card is sick.
That card is actually sick. It's the one with Rush, and then if your opponent activates a blocker, you can KO an 8,000 power or less. Then you also have another promo that's going to be strictly just for the event, which is the 5 cost Zoro from Egghead in OPO7. I don't think that one got me all that hyped. It looks cool. Yeah. The artwork looks amazing.
Yeah,
but like
sick.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I wish they had chose a card that like had a more prolific effect. That would have been cool. And then the Uta Dawn. That Dawn is gonna be, sheesh. That Dawn is going to go for a price, dude.
Yeah, so here I'm gonna use this moment to beg and to ask a big thing of all of everyone. If you can somehow get me in to the One Piece Day, please let me know.
Wait, you can get it in.
How?
Yeah, they're the general admission.
I thought those already went up for sale.
No, they got rescheduled. Yeah, so actually this is a really good information for everybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, roll it.
They got rescheduled for February 9th.
Okay.
I might have to double check that. Hold on.
But the point being is that they have not gone up for sale yet.
No.
Okay.
So
right.
Yeah, the event itself was supposed to be like January 19th, I think was the signups. And now it is, don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's like February 9th is the pre-registration. I'm trying to find the area, card game area side events. Oh, I don't know, man. I know it's somewhere on here.
No, I believe it.
Yeah.
But I was legitimately, first of all, I was saddened by the fact that I slept in on that Sunday. And this is another complaint that I have with Bandai is why are we doing Sunday morning signups?
Found it. General entry, February 9th at 9 a.m. Central. So that's going to be 9 a.m. your time.
Yeah.
February 9th. Mark that on your calendar, bro.
Mark it on your calendar.
Because it's going to be first come, first serve.
Like, yeah.
They're going to go fast.
There's no lottery. There's no, I'm in there. I'm in there. We in there.
Yeah.
So you and Vampire better scooch on over and make some room. Shout out Vampire though. He is the homie. He actually, he sent me some sleeves from Japan. This is from
that's awesome.
A Pokemon / One Piece artist named Soso. He sent me 10 sleeves that are going to be used as my obviously my Dawn sleeves. But shout out the homie, man. He's always a ray of sunshine on the social medias.
That's sick.
cool dude. But shout out to him. But yeah, I'll be up there. I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more excited just for competing, not only for the regional prizing and everything, but I mean, because like the participation alone for that regional is like super solid. It's, you get, I think you're getting something like 2 event packs. Yeah, you're getting like 2 participation packs, which I think the cards are like kind of meh, but if you get the Spandine or like maybe the Arouge, it's pretty solid. But like
Yeah.
it's Spandine, Arouge, Nico Olivia, which like meh. And
The one
then
drop?
yeah, the one drop. Yeah.
That's a good card, my friend. If you play Nico, that's
If
a
you play
staple.
Nico, for sure, yeah.
That's a really good card.
But it's like I don't know. And
No,
then
don't. Hey! Don't you slander the Nico.
and then there's audio, the 452K. So that's going to be really good. So I like that. I mean, you get 2 of those packs. You get 1 event pack volume 6, and then 6 regular booster packs of whatever box that they're offering at that time.
Nice.
Yeah, and then there's apparently like a Black Gold Dawn card. I don't think I've seen anything about that yet, but that sounds really cool.
Okay.
They haven't announced what the prize cards are yet, so that'll be in the near future. We'll be able to know what top 64, top 16, and top 8 is going to be. But if anyone that is enjoying and listening, if you guys are going to be there, come say what's up. If you guys see us walking around, would love to say hi. I got to meet a bunch of amazing individuals at the national event, so I was very blessed that, I didn't have a single person come up and tell me, that I suck. There was a lot of people that came up and said really nice things, and I was like, maybe there was somebody that thinks I suck though, like off on the side, that was just like they didn't want to come say it to my face. Which hey, I'm fine with it. If you come and say, hey, you're the worst content creator to my face, I'll be like, all right,
Respect.
damn, respect.
Yeah.
You listen to the podcast at least. I guess that's cool.
We call that. Well, that's what the kids. I think the kids call that as standing on business these days.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
like
Yeah. So like respect to you, for standing on business.
Yeah.
But
Yep, you're not wrong.
great constructive feedback. You suck. We'll take it and we'll see what we can grow from there. And
Yeah.
only strive for success from here on out.
I will say though that Vampire and I are going to try and get there to the event space like early, like super early, because like we're gonna try and get there maybe like 5-6 a.m. or something like that. Because
You are crazy.
yeah, we're gonna get in line to be like the first people that can get the illustration boxes, because there's only gonna be a limited amount of those. It's only gonna be sold at that event, and on top of that, I don't know how many they're going to let people get. So if we're lucky, we might be able to like get one, and then like hopefully, like if they allow us to, I would like to get 4, obviously. I want a play set. But
I'm pulling across, and y'all can get in line, and then I'm just going to be like, nah, I've been here, man. I went and grabbed everyone coffee. I'll just show up with like a couple Starbucks and be like, nah, I'll just grab everyone coffee. Shout out, Cross.
You're gonna get canceled so hard.
I'm joking. I know, right? I have a whole mob on my ass for that one, but
that's funny.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, speaking of Vampire, did you hear when he was at Nationals, he stood in line for boxes of PRB. Damn, I got something down the throat.
Don't die.
He stood in line for boxes of PRB, got 2 boxes, took them home, opened one of them, pulled a God pack.
No shot. I didn't see that.
Dude, actually insane. Yeah. He like pulled it on stream and everything, and I was like, "What?"
Well deserved. My man deserves all that for sure.
Yeah.
That's sick though.
He's dedicated. That dude has got he collects the vast majority of stuff. He doesn't even I mean, he'll like get rid of some things, but the vast majority of things he'll like actually keep on.
He's an ace collector first and foremost. Like he's got a really large, but he still has his Shanks cereal. He does not let go of it. Like he's dedicated. Like you said, he's committed.
That's the big prize. I forgot about that. I don't even know how I forgot about that. But there's cereal aces coming out in the One Piece Day event. So top 8, man, getting those cereal aces.
Get it, Vampire. Get it.
Yeah, he's hungry for it. So
I bet.
I hope he can get those. And if not, maybe I'll win it for him or something if I'm lucky.
You got this. By our powers combined.
Yeah.
Y'all can't count on me for nothing. So don't like. I'm not even.
That's
You know.
fair.
Yeah. Damn.
No. Brother, I haven't seen you at an event since Nom.
You
All
know
right?
what? You're
I'm
not
ready.
wrong. You're not wrong, Luffy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I wish life provided a little bit more time for me to
That's
be able
fair.
to do all that. But you know what, man? Like I've always said from the beginning, I love the game. I love the community. Like, this is all just like a thing of passion for me. If I never see a top 32, top 64, like it'll be like, yeah, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is, because honestly, dude, I'm just having fun with it all. And like I'll continue doing what I do. I would
Yeah.
like, that was definitely something that I'd like to shoot for, but I don't, my measure of success with this TCG doesn't come with like a placing. It comes
No,
with
yeah.
my overall experience and my overall, you know, relationship with the TCG. I
Yeah,
guess
no,
is the way I know how to put
100%.
it. So,
Dude, I mean, it was funny that I have a lot of people that will say like, "Oh man, you're like, can you tell me how to get better, this, that, and the other, you know, cuz you've like done so well." And I'm like, "Dude, I am like one of the like most non-winning content creators out there. There's like so many other people that have won so much more than I have." I was like, I have a track record of like 4 tops, or like I think 5 tops now. I have like
yeah.
5 tops, and by that
That's
I mean
super
top
solid.
64,
That's super
bro.
solid. No,
Not even top 8.
it's funny you bring that up though, because like I've asked myself this question too, like it's when it comes to like content creation and like where I belong in this space. And like, you know, like we could easily be very critical of ourselves because we can look at people like Clyde and Jonas who crush it like every time, and then they go on to make content. And I just kind of want to provide this context, is that there is always going to be someone that finds our content helpful and
Oh, 100,
useful.
yeah,
And like, so like
100%.
there's different tiers to this, right? Like you got people that are just now coming in that I would suggest, you know, different content creator. If you're just now getting into the game, I would suggest this content creator. If you're like in that intermediate stage, I'd suggest this content. If you're at like top level, then I would suggest. So like there's all these gaps to
Oh,
fill
yeah,
when it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
to this sort of thing. So like actually there was man, I'm gonna screw up his handle. Kaya K.
Oh, you're talking about Kyla Kai.
Kyla Kai.
Yeah.
And he recently like had this kind of internal dialogue, and he put it out on Twitter like,
He makes
you know,
really
I'm
good
getting a little
content.
bit of feed. What's
Yeah.
that?
He makes really good content. Yeah.
Amazing content, like
Yeah.
easy to digest, does a great job like explaining, like a good teacher of the game in general. But he was
Yes.
being very critical of himself because he didn't feel like he was offering a, like, you know, like the top tier like professional stuff. And I'm like, brother,
I'm like,
you
brother,
don't
have you
know
seen
how
my channel?
have you seen Luffy? Do you see this man get drunk every night and just throw
Wait,
and just
wait.
do the craziest things on the, like, what are we
I was
talking about here?
my YouTube channel.
No. I'm taking it a different route. After the jab I took, I'm taking it a different route.
That's fair.
No,
That's fair.
totally joking. But the point being is, like, you know, like you can't sit here and like measure yourself against people like that, because it's like there's all different gaps to fill when it comes to
Oh yeah, yeah,
what you
yeah.
provide from a content
No,
standpoint.
you're absolutely right. I'm not saying like I'm worthless or anything, but I know for
You're
a
getting
fact
close,
that like
buddy.
I'm getting close. That's for sure. but like at the end of the day, I just know, you know, like a lot of people that they'll say like, you know, well, you know, can you tell me how to do this? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to do this, bro. I'm figuring it out. Like I would recommend, you know, like really going and chatting with somebody that's actually like the best at the game. You know, like they're really good. You know, if you want really good advice and really good coaching and stuff like that. I've had people ask me like, do you do coaching? I'm like, God, no. Oh my God. I was like,
Yeah.
do you know the amount of flack I would get if I offered somebody coaching, told them what to do, and they were like, dude, I can't even win locals. I'm like, I know. It's like, this is rough, dude. Like, it's tough out here.
You would be like the bad Santa of
coaches.
coaching.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, like, dude, I kid you not, people do it that I know, right? Like I don't know them like personally, but I know
Sure, yeah, yeah.
I know of them, right?
Acquaintances,
Yeah,
sure.
and like I know that they do coaching, and I'm like, dude, how? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like you are not good enough to be coaching somebody.
You know,
But I'm
it
like, hey,
depends
make your
on,
bag, dude, make your
but here's
bag.
the thing: it depends on what the customer is trying to get out of them, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I again, but yeah, your sentiment is very much. I agree. I
yeah.
agree for sure.
Like
Yeah,
I've helped like local friends of mine get better by just giving them like a new way to look at the game. But that's
yeah.
what I it's not like I said, hey bro, where's my $20 now? I'm
Well,
just
you
like,
also,
hey, I've personally learned the same thing from better players. I was like, I
yeah,
asked better players questions. They told me, they were like, well, why don't you do this instead? And I'm like, huh, I never really thought about it like that. And they're like, yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Well, and you also kind of provide this form of coaching, if you will, with your streams.
yeah.
Even with all the drunken chaos that takes place, there are still
There's moments of sobriety.
tiny little morsels where Luffy misplays, but it works out, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, take that." No,
Yeah.
no, but seriously, no, that's kind of like your form of coaching because a lot of people tune in, a lot of people watch how you play the game. You generally, I mean, yeah, you'll kind of you'll make entertainment out of it, but generally you explain your process or like why they did this or like you're surprised that they did that. So like you offer a form of coaching. And while no one's like, hey, I need you for Thursday for 2 hours, here's $200. It's more like, hey,
Fuck.
Luffy streaming at 8 p.m.
Dude, if that was a
And
thing,
I
I
can
would
go and
fucking sign up.
I can I can subscribe to his channel and I can find value in his content.
Yeah.
Most of his content, most of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
There's
yeah.
the,
But
you know,
there's some questionable things that take place, but you know
for
that's
for
what makes
sure.
it fun. That's why we tune in. But my point being is like you kind of indirectly offer coaching, and there's a lot of content creators that whether they know it or not, even these like first person, the point of view
Yeah.
channels where it's literally like there's not commentary. It's literally just them playing against someone else. Like there's not coaching in the sense that they're explaining, but there's indirect coaching where I'm like, oh damn, like I didn't see that line.
Yeah.
Um, and that was the line that proved to be the winning line for them. And so like, yeah, there's different ways you can approach what we will label as coaching,
Yeah.
and everyone has their way of going about it, and everyone has something to contribute.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, I just know that there are people that personally I would put my trust and money into if I'm going to
Yeah,
try to go that route.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, I've seen some others where I'm like, okay, you charge how much? Like, wait.
Yeah, that's fair. I've
Yeah.
noticed the same, but you know
Yeah.
what? Do your thing.
Yeah,
Do
no,
your thing,
dude. Yeah,
bro.
make your bag, bro. For
Yeah,
real.
yeah,
I don't care. I'm
yeah,
just like shocked. Thank
yeah.
the audacity. No, I'm joking.
The audacity.
But ladies and gentlemen, this has been a super fun episode talking about some of the events. But this is something I wanted to end the episode on
Yes.
because it's not a Bandai event, but it is an event. And I shouldn't even say an event because it's events, plural, right? Is something I've been working on in the background a lot. Is I've been wanting to since last year, and I've been talking about it since last year. I've been wanting to host my own online tournaments for people to compete in, and for everybody to have, basically a source where they might be able to find, you know, gameplay footage, and it's just some all around like fun matches, and I want the tournament experience to be a very fun and rewarding experience for a lot of people too. So starting in February, I'm actually going to be launching, well, technically starting in January, I'm going to be launching my first event on January 27th, but it isn't open to the public. That's why I say starting in February, it'll be open to the public. This first event at the end of January is basically just a test event to, iron out the kinks and really get my stream to look as perfect as possible, get all the transitions, audio, everything that I need to get going so that this can be the best event that people can watch and enjoy and really be a part of. So I'm really excited, but they're going to be webcam events online. I will have registrations and stuff like that all through my Discord. So if you haven't joined, it should always be in the link of the description. If you're on Spotify, you can just feel free to check me out on any of the platforms, and you'll find my Discord link somewhere, whether it's on X, YouTube, Twitch, doesn't matter. Yeah, but I'm really excited. I've got some phenomenal sponsors. I've got a couple of people that I've already started working with. And more that I hope to work with. So if you know somebody that might be interested in sponsoring one of the events, whether it's a card shop, a online single sole proprietor business owner that might be interested in sponsoring any of the events, tell them to reach out to me, because I'm super excited. I've got a lot of stuff planned for not only the sponsors and how they're going to be promoted, but how I plan on promoting these events as a whole and the content that comes from them afterwards, as well as, just want to give prizing out to, a really good amount of people. And dude, I'm stoked. Yeah.
Dude, it's sick. And honestly, like Luffy, this is something that you and I, like you were saying, spoke to last year. So it's awesome to hear that it's like now, it's got legs behind it, and you're moving forward with that. It's awesome.
Dude, we're here.
You've also just got like a badass community of people too. You've got familiar faces that every time I go into your stream, I'm seeing a lot of familiar names, a lot of, both YouTube and Twitch. You've got a good, healthy community, man. And I think, having that level of comfort within that community, I think is going to be really a nice appeal for a lot of people, because they're like, oh, I know so-and-so from this stream, or I know this, like just community is really like the takeaway from this. And I think you provide a safe haven, if you will, for a lot of people within One Piece to just come, be themselves, have fun, watch your streams, learn some things with cards. And going into a tournament, I think, is like the ultimate gesture of goodwill.
Yeah.
I think is just being like someone that actually creates a place for people to be able to go and play and enjoy themselves, is like really kind of like the apex of what it is to be a content creator and someone who's an advocate for the game. So props to you, man, for taking that on, making it all come together. I can't wait to be a commentator on this tournament. And really crush it with you.
No,
as I'm inviting myself, but
legit, that's happening. So
all right, let's do it.
Like for example, the first one, just because I was bouncing some ideas off of him, and it just happened that we were talking about the Dallas event and everything while I was getting some of this stuff set up. Vampire's joining me for that first event, and then I have plans of having you, Atrocious Jake, right? I hope that eventually, I can invite. I want to have Flyest Raven, Holden Miller on. I want to invite Fee Win. I want to invite Jonas, Clyde TCG, Eggman. I want to get a bunch of there's so many names, dude. I can't even name everybody here.
Yeah, there's a laundry
literally list. I want to have so many people that are just would come and be, fun as a commentator, but just have a good time, And I think that it's going to be really great. I mean, to showcase what we kind of have planned already and whatnot. I mean, in the month of February, at some point, I'm going to be having a tournament for a manga kid. Yeah. So shout out to my man Ian over at Dapper Games. He showed the absolute love and was like, dude, let's make a really big prize card for a tournament. So we're going to have a manga kid as well as, look at that. 2 manga. Oh my gosh.
You know what? You know what I'm gonna do, Ian?
What's that?
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna send this card to get graded. Okay.
Okay.
So this card is gonna live in a slab.
Yeah.
Which means, if you would like, I would be happy to mail this beautiful Pokemon manga case that actually complements the artwork. As you can see, you see kids' feet down there. It is just an extension of the artwork.
Yeah.
If you'd like, Ian, I will be happy to send that over to you, and that can be part of your
the prize.
Yeah,
dude, that would be dope. That would be really cool, actually. That's super generous. Thank you.
I mean, my pleasure. Full disclosure, it was a gift to me, and I'm kind of passing it along as a good gesture because I want to put that card in a slab, but. Happy to do it, man.
That would be really cool. All right, well now everybody knows the tournament is even better.
Sponsorships just rolling in.
We've already got and even cooler part about like all of this, right, is that I'm working with TheLuffyTCG, and
Love his work.
he's making custom cards for the top 4 players of every single event, right? So it's going to be custom cards for my events only, and they're going to be Dawn cards that will be a collectible series essentially.
Damn.
Of one, the first place will get a winner stamped version of that card, and then second, third, and fourth for any event that we host is going to have like just a normal hollow version of it without the winner stamp on it.
Dude, that
So
is so sick.
yeah, dude, I've been planning this out for a really long time, and like we've been working out some stuff. It's going to be really, really cool. I've got about 9 boxes of sealed One Piece behind this couch right here. It's just somewhere over there. I got like 9 boxes right now. I've got cases of OP10 that are already in the works in the shop.
See,
We're going to have a case tournament of OP10, box tournaments every week, potentially every other week, depends on how the events go. But, dude, I've been really working hard on this.
and honestly, like the fact that you've put this much thought and effort and energy and all, dude, yeah, Ian, hells yeah, good
Yeah,
job, dude. Like
yeah,
this is
I'm
sick.
excited.
This is awesome. And you know I'm gonna do everything. You know I'm here for you, brother. Anything I can do to help promote, support, whatever. I will do everything on my end to try and help as much as I can because it does not go without notice the amount of effort, energy, and a collaborative effort, admittedly, by other people in the community that are
Yeah,
obviously going to be contributing.
yeah,
So this is just like it feels very grassroots, you know,
yeah.
and very like community driven, community sponsored, like just all encompassing. So shout out to you, man. It's gonna be a badass event. I can't wait to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Oh man, I'm just stoked to get it on the road, like just to get it going. But I'm also like, I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie, because these are gonna be big events. Like I plan on, we're gonna start with 64 players, see where we go from
Wow.
there. Kind of work our way up. If I know for sure the manga events and the case tournaments, we're gonna try and do 128. But if possible, eventually, I mean, I would love to see a 256 player tournament. That would be
Woo!
crazy. I mean, like the amount of work that's going to take is going to be pretty insane. But I do believe that there's something to be done there, and yeah. I don't know. I see a really awesome future for the events, but again, all the information for the events will eventually be posted in my Discord. I have specific sections of the Discord made right now for this event once you have the One Piece TCG role in my server. And yeah, I'll be posting essentially when signups are going live for these events in the future, both through my Discord, on X, and on probably my YouTube community page, stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah. You'll see it all over my Twitter too. So like
love it.
we're getting it out there. No, we're gonna do this, and
Do it
I'm
right.
super excited. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for you, and I'm excited for everyone that participates. It's gonna be a fun time, dude.
Heck yeah, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I think this was a fantastic one, just kind of going over, some of the events that we maybe didn't get to touch on as soon as we would have liked to. But then also touching on the events that are coming up that we're most excited about. I think that this year is going to be a fantastic year for the One Piece card game. So I am just full force excited about what we have, to happen. The rest of the episodes that we'll be recording throughout the year as well are going to be great. And just thank you all for the support throughout 2024. And, we appreciate you continuing the support through 2025. Yeah. But other than that, I hope y'all have a fantastic day. We'll see you around, whether it's through streams, YouTube videos, on X, or, just here in the comments, whether it's on Spotify and YouTube. We appreciate you. But hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.
Laters.